learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. The solar panels have become out of sight, out of mind, and I really like that. I've been meaning to come down here with some vinegar spray and spray down the grass around it. Vinegar spray will kill the grass naturally instead of using those harsh chemicals, and that clean this area up a little bit. Every time I get ready to do it, there's rain in the forecast, and that vinegar's got to stay on, I think, 24 hours or 48 hours. I came down here today to take a look at it and make sure everything's still working, and I'm really proud of the system I've developed. I mean, it looks atrocious. I'm sure nobody agrees with them. Laying on the ground, don't lay them on the ground, but I have my reasons for laying them on the ground. I've talked about it lots of times. If you put them on a pedestal, you can't move them around, and I like it better this way, so that's the way I'm gonna do it. I've been saying how I've been getting my daily dose or weekly dose of fear-mongering from the prepper channels and different channels. And I keep saying, you know, I'm fine. Every time I watch one of their videos, I say, I'm fine. Oh, I got it covered, no problem. I'm fine. You know, the world's coming to an end. I'm covered. I got it, no problem. Well, yesterday, I mean, you know, they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they finally hit a button that says, wait a minute, maybe I'm not fine. So I've told you many times in the past that I used to be a conspiracy theorist, and I really tried to grow up, and I don't try to dwell on that anymore, where I'm always scared of everything, the next crisis, because none of it ever really came true. Of course, we had the lockdown, and that was probably the closest in my lifetime that I've gotten to, wow, maybe all my conspiracy theories were true. But even at that, we got through it. I mean, I recognize that there's still an issue with it, but you know, we're through it. We're getting better. But as far as living off grid, I really don't feel like I have a lot of issues. I got electric from my refrigerator. We're experimenting with gardens, trying to get the garden to grow. I mean, we've got some challenges here. Really rocky clay soil. All the trees here has been a big challenge with solar and with the garden. This year I cut out all these cedar trees so we get more sunlight in the evening time. I've showed you all that. I've got where I can run the well off the solar panels now for short periods of time on cloudy days and almost unlimited on sunny days. I feel like we're doing pretty good. So we got water, we got food, we got our chickens. We got 8. I think a few of them are roosters. That's the biggest problem we have, is I think we got 4 roosters, 3 or 4 roosters. I think Frenchie's a rooster. Everybody keeps asking about Frenchie. He's right there, I see him. He's the white one. He's the only white one out there. We're gonna start trying to incubate the eggs and see if we can get a production going. That way we'll always have a supply of chicken. But I've really not been trying to buy into all these conspiracy theories. I mean, there's been a ton of them. And I'm telling you, the prepper channels just keep popping up. I can't get away from them. I block them and then new ones pop up, and then I don't even know why they think I like watching these videos. But they always got it in the title, the world's coming to an end. Yesterday, I was actually watching one of my news channels, and he went through the same list that prepper channels are going through. Okay, we got a shortage on chicken. Okay, I'm fine. We got chickens. We're gonna start breeding the chickens. We're gonna incubate chickens. We're gonna have chickens. We'll be able to eat chickens. We got eggs. So chickens are no problem. And then I got thinking about it. Wait a minute. We just went grocery shopping like 3 or 4 days ago, and we bought more chicken than anything else. Usually we buy pork. Pork is the big thing we buy. We buy 30 days worth of meat. And Carolyn got into the grocery store, and chicken was like 97 cents a pound. I mean, it was ridiculously cheap for bone-in chicken breast. And then if you bought the chicken that the store cut the bone out of, it was like $2.97. Carolyn bought just an enormous amount of chicken. We can have chicken soup forever with the amount of chicken she bought. Okay, wait a minute. We got chickens. I'm safe with chickens. I'm not that worried about not having chickens. But besides, what difference does it make? I mean, I understand that people are saying that some of the chicken farms had problems this last winter because the chickens froze. But I remember a year or 2 ago, they kept saying that we weren't going to have pork. Pork was going to come to a big problem because of the lockdown. I mean, I don't remember what it was, but Carolyn and I have not changed our diet at all, and our food prices haven't went up. She spends about anywhere from $150 to $200 a month on groceries every month. Once a month we go shopping. Well, she's getting now where she can almost go 5 or 6 weeks on that kind of prices. Well, this last shopping trip we were really low on vegetables and our shelves were empty. We went like 6 weeks and it was $206. And so my favorite newscaster also said, generators are not being produced right now. And then he said, propane tanks aren't being produced. propane tanks, whoa, wait a minute. Well, I remember that. I went to the hardware store the other day. Those little 1 pound propane tanks, they're out of them and they can't get any more in. And I thought, oh my goodness, that means, you know, my favorite news guy is telling me propane tanks are gone. So, and he's right, I know, I've seen it. That means generators. There's not gonna be any generators. What am I gonna do? So I got this generator here and I showed it to you yesterday. It's a Champion 2000 watt inverter generator. Runs real quiet. Run it all night long, never hear it. Well, it's, like I said, it's 2 years old. I have no idea how long it's gonna last. I hope it lasts for another 2 years, but we run it pretty regularly. Even last summer, I thought we were gonna have to replace it. But I think it just overheated. You know, with it being a black case, which I think was ridiculous. I have no idea why they ever thought black case was a good idea. It absorbs heat. But with the black case, I think it just overheated, and once it cooled off, it was back to running fine. But I know I'm gonna have to replace it one of these days. Well, if there's a generator shortage, I need to go out and get one now. What am I gonna do? So Carolyn and I got to talking, and she says, well, how much would it cost to expand your solar panel system to the same size as that generator? So if we look at the generator's normal running watts is 1,000. It's 1,000 watts. It's 2,000 peak, 1,000 running watts, which is what I have in solar panels. I said, well, it's gonna cost 1,100 bucks to get a 1,000 watts of solar, because I'd have to get more batteries and more solar panels and new charge controller, which I never considered actually expanding the solar panels much more than what we got now, unless we ever bought a freezer. That's the only time I've ever talked about expanding the solar panels. But we didn't buy a freezer, so it just never crossed my mind. And she says, well, maybe that's what we could do, is just go ahead and invest in another set of solar panels and tie it all into one battery cluster. And I thought, well, I guess we could do that. We get another charge controller, and you can tie charge controllers, because there's going to be some people say, oh, you can't tie charge controllers into each other. And I'll show you what a charge controller is. So the charge controller, this is my setup. This is a charge controller, and essentially what it does is it processes the energy the solar panels are making and charges the battery. It shuts off the charge if the batteries are full. It's got a computer in it just like the battery charger does. And so it's thinking about sunlight, how much sunlight there is, and how many amps is being produced, and it's maxed out right now. So I'd have to get another charge controller, which is 100 bucks. So I got to thinking, man, $1,100 to replace a $400 generator. This is what we're talking about. Do I really want to invest that kind of money on something that maybe is true or not true? But I got online, and they got generators at Tractor Supply store. That generator, as a matter of fact. I thought they discontinued these, but Tractor Supply store still has them for $449. Carolyn also suggested maybe we don't get the inverter generator and we go ahead and just get a regular portable generator. And I didn't see the prices being that significantly different. The problem with regular portable generators is they use a ton more gas. This generator only uses 1 gallon every 11 hours, whereas a regular one will run a gallon maybe in 3 or 4 hours. And the regular portable generators don't last as long as these. Those only last about 500 hours. This one's up to at least 2,000 hours, easy. I mean, I would love to have more solar panels. You know, me being a guy, that would be great. Let's get more solar panels, of course, more power, you know, Tim Taylor, tool time. I just couldn't justify the cost. It wasn't making sense. And I said, you know what, we have enough solar. And I tested it yesterday. I was playing around with it, and I ran the batteries down real quick. What I wanted to do, the sun was up in the sky, so I disconnected the solar panels from the batteries, and I ran the well pump just off the battery, see how long it would last. And I got about 6 minutes of run time, and so they were depleted. Sun's high in the sky. I plugged the solar panels back into the battery charger, and it instantly just shot up to 40 amps. I mean, boom! And within, I would say, a half hour, easy, solar panels had the batteries completely charged again. So I don't have a solar panel problem. What I have is a battery problem. I've always went on this philosophy, using lead acid batteries, that I want to be able to use enough energy out of the batteries and then recharge those batteries the next day. It expands the life of the batteries. You always want to get your batteries up past 13.6 volts every day. So why don't we just fix the weak spot in our system? The batteries. So what we're going to start doing is, Carolyn said, let's go ahead and buy 1 battery each month. See how that does, test it out for a month, buy another, test it out for a month. That way it gets us through the cloudy days, sunny days. My biggest problem is in the wintertime. In the wintertime, you only get a few hours of sunlight. The sun goes down at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and so you have all this nighttime. Batteries are only $80 a piece. Now I know everybody don't like lead-acid batteries from Walmart, but I've had the most luck with Walmart batteries. The last battery I had to replace was 4 years old. We ran it all the time, and as long as you continue to follow good practices with your batteries, keep it above 13.6 volts at least once a day. Don't ever let it get down past 12.3 volts. Your batteries will last a long time, and so that's what we do. I know there's a lot of people who don't agree with that. You gotta have lithium-ion battle-born batteries. They're $1,000 a piece. I'm just not gonna buy a $1,000 battery. And I think this is going to get me past the lack of generators in the world. I hope I can inspire you to always think reasonably when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.